Alright lads, so Christmas is coming early because this morning we did get some data mined information regarding the next set of resurrectable characters, and to no one's surprise it is the Christmas banner of 2019, Nelliel, SOI FON, and also Nanao. Now I've been personally looking forward to this particular banner getting resurrected, mainly because Nelliel is a 14% strong attack recharge soul trait. So there's some potential here that we might walk away with the new best speed link in the entire game, and that's important because I know a lot of people, of course myself included, do really like using Yachiru, maybe even Tensa and Senjumaru. Other than that though, SOI FON and Nanao I believe are also 12% strong attack recharge soul traits, so this entire banner just has a good chance to be some pretty good links. As for the character upgrades, I'm not expecting too much, not really sure what they can get, but let's check it out. Alright then, so first up we have Christmas SOI FON. I'm a bit salty that she's getting resurrected because for those that don't know, she has basically the exact same strong attack here as Aaroniero, more so with the SA2. The SA2 in particular is an attack that we haven't seen return, I believe, since SOI FON. Well, like, it's a vacuum vortex that sucks everyone in and then pushes them out. I believe Aaroniero was the first character to have that attack, and to see her get resurrected before Aaroniero, who came out months before this character, yeah, it sucks a tad bit, I'm not gonna lie. But in SOI FON's case, she is a 12% strong attack recharge soul trait, so of course here when it comes to resurrection, 12% recharge, 16% side is always good. Full stamina, more strong attack damage at full stamina, any damage soul trait here will also be good. At the same time, if they want to go down the status element duration, I wouldn't actually mind that. And lads, I can't believe it is taking me almost 4 years to realize that's Yoruichi in the background. How have I never realized that? What? That's insane. Let me know if, in the console of you if you knew that too. I did not. As I was saying, I wouldn't mind getting a status element duration here. Again, those links are still pretty good in the very hard guild quests. As long as it's not drain or lacerate, I think it's a good soul trait, right? But other than that, the skills, Berserker plus 20, Bruiser 20, Debilitator, Devastation, Fire Immunity, Frenzy, and also Sprinter plus 1. This right here means she has 7 skills, so she is going to pick up an 8th skill. But since she already has Berserker, the question is, what 8th skill will she pick up? Havoc plus 20% on this character would actually be quite good, but it wouldn't really change how she actually plays, right? If anything, I'm fully expecting this character to get 20% damage to burning enemies. Alright then, so let's check it out, right? So when it comes to SOI FON soul trait, 12% recharge and also 16% more damage at full stamina. That's a good trait. That is a good trait, no complaints from me. And when it comes to the skill that she did pick up, she did indeed get 20% more damage to enemies that are inflicted with burns. So as a character, she basically saw a 36% damage increase when the enemies are inflicted with burn, which to be fair, that SA2 does hit quite a few times, so there's a good chance she does inflict burn. But the main thing that we are looking at is the soul trait. 60% more damage at full stamina is beautiful. And if we actually have a look at our list of characters here, you know, technically we have access to 4 characters that do have recharge and full stamina. The more the merrier though, you know, not everyone has access to these old characters. You might have access to SOI FON, and with that you might now have a good set of links to use, right? But as far as resurrectable characters do go, that is our 3rd recharge first and foremost, and then the extra full stamina. In the case of Orihime, she's offering more full stamina and less recharge. I personally don't like those links. I prefer more recharge and less damage than more damage and less recharge. But I guess in the case of SOI FON, she is one of the best power links in the sense that she also does offer the most amount of SP, right? 878 SP with this resurrection. Compared to the other characters, while it's not, you know, too far off, Spirit Society Rukia offering 862, and then unfortunately 1000 Year Blood War Ichigo only offering 839. Doesn't make that much of a difference, but I do know a lot of people, technically myself included, do like to maximize their links and use the best possible combinations, and I'm pretty sure I have SOI FON Max Transcended or 5-5 because she haunted my summon, so I actually don't mind that she actually picked up a good soul trait here. Right now we're 1 for 1 with good soul traits and resurrections. More so soul traits though. Next up we have Nanao. Now I'm fully expecting this character to get some type of healing soul trait. She could get full stamina because she does have access to an SA2 team heal, so I guess it's entirely possible that she herself also could get more damage at full stamina as a soul trait because it would make sense she can heal herself. But you know what, I don't feel like all 3 characters here are going to get good soul traits, and the better soul traits that Nanao and SOI FON get is give me less hope that Nelliel's also going to get a good soul trait. Maybe they have to fumble one of them. Maybe it's going to be her. But either way, recharge and maybe potential stamina recovery is always good. I'm not going to complain about that. That's what I'm expecting here with this soul trait. As for the skills, 20% Berserker, Bruiser, Debilitator, Devastation, Frenzy, Medic, and also Sprinter plus 1. And very similar to SOI FON, she also does have 7 skills here. So she's going to pick up 1 extra skill. It could be damage to weakened enemies. That wouldn't be too bad. Could be healer, so her SA2 does heal her more. and your team more. At the same time, what they do like to do with characters that have some type of healing capabilities is give them more damage at full stamina, maybe a 20% full stamina damage skill, and then instead of giving the damage bonus as a soul trait, they then turn that into more healing so you can easily stay at full stamina. There's definitely a few things they can do here. I'm believing that they're going to go around the route of giving this character more damage when at full stamina. Let's check it out though. Alright, so the soul trait here is 12% recharge with 16% stamina recovery in between quest areas as expected, and interestingly enough, lads, mind character movement speed plus 20%. Okay, is that the first character? Does anyone have that in the mind attribute? Well, for starters, I want to say I'm actually quite happy with this resurrection. I expected her to get the recharge and also the stamina recovery. That made sense. But to pick up a skill like that, honestly, I prefer that over any other skill. Like, sure, if she picked up Havoc plus 20%, even if it was 40%, or she picked up a 40% Berserker, extra Berserker, because she already does have 20% built in, you're still not going to use her. But you know what, now, since this does increase your movement speed, you might want to put it in your team when you're farming the point event with, let's say, 8th anniversary white. I never thought about it like this, but yeah, I kind of like the idea of, you know, maybe even making resurrectable characters someone that just sits in your team to buff your better characters. Even if that's only for single player content, I'm still for it. I feel like it has more usage this way instead of the character basically just being a soul trait. So very interesting they did do that, but you can notice that they did lower it by 10%. Usually I believe it's 30%. In this case, it's only 20%. And these wouldn't stack, so if we do have a 30% movement speed character for the mind attribute and use both in the same team, they shouldn't stack. Unless they in the future only buff a particular affiliation. You know, imagine this right here was mind attribute characters Soripa, movement speed by 20%. And then we eventually maybe got an additional 30% movement speed for any mind character. Well, at that point, the Soripas are just going to breeze for the entire map. It could be crazy. But when it comes to the mind attribute, we don't have access to that many recharge and also stamina recovery links. So I do like that we are getting now our third, or I guess fourth, resurrectable one. But once more, as already mentioned, the other two, Aaroniero and also Kisuke, are more so stamina recovery characters first, recharge second. And I like to get access to more recharge and also stamina recovery, because personally, I do see myself using links like this more so when I'm trying to auto IT, IZ, for example, and I need that stamina recovery because maybe the character I'm using doesn't have built-in healings. It's definitely a niche link, but I like it, and mine does have access to quite a few, you know, recharge and damage soul traits that her not picking up damage is honestly not big of a deal. I would prefer this route. I'm honestly for it. So I kind of forgot that White already has access to the movement speed. I knew he had some type of team buff. I for some reason thought it was the special move damage, which of course he does have, but he has access to both. That's something I kind of forgot about. But I guess if you don't have access to 8th anniversary White, but you still want to get that movement speed increase for another mind character that you are autumn with, let's say in the point events, you definitely want to throw Nanao on your team if you do have her to get that extra buff. I guess in this case though, if she was a speed character, let's say Nelliel might get it also too, we'll find out, right? That would be a bit more beneficial because speed right now has access to no movement speed increase characters. And again, I know I auto with someone like Yachiru, so getting that movement speed increase, especially on a resurrectable character, would actually be beneficial for my account. Alright then, so we have now saved the best for last, really hoping here Nelliel does get a good soul trait. Again, when it comes to the second soul trait here, strong attack damage, more strong attack damage at full stamina, or more damage at full stamina. Any of those three are going to be great here. Anything else is going to be an absolute L. We saw 2 weeks ago with Yoruichi that she got more damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment, and while it's still a good soul trait, it's definitely on the niche sides. Not that many characters can use and benefit from that soul trait. But in this case, Nelliel, you can see here she inflicts stars, so we shouldn't be getting any wonky soul traits, at least one would hope. When it comes to the skill, she has Berserker, Bruiser, Debilitate, Devastation, Frenzy, Freeze Duration, and also Sprinter +1. So once more, very similar to the other 2 characters in a banner. She's going to get 1 new skill. Could be 20% more damage at full stamina. Could be more damage to frozen enemies, maybe an increased chance with Extazlements, maybe even Havoc. To be honest, I don't really care. I just want to see a good soul trait. Let's check it out. Alright then, here we go. I'm nervous. Let's check it out. Damage, low stamina. No, what are you doing, Caleb? Oh man, they are toxic. Why is this now the one time you chose to do low stamina damage? Man, that is so... It's annoying because they did it again 2 weeks ago, right? We had a 14% recharge with Yoruichi. In a way, it's not like the worst soul trait. It's not the worst soul trait, but we don't have access to many recharge 14% soul traits, right? In this case, this is the one soul trait you do not want to mess up. You do not want to mess up because it's an enhanced soul trait. You know, if you're going to give these low stam, which I like, keep in mind, I want more low stamina damage soul soul traits. I didn't even consider it because they rarely ever give it to characters. Do that on your 12% recharge characters, not the 14%. So back to back, 14% recharge soul traits, getting in a way a bad upgrade. It's a niche soul trait. For a 14% recharge, you want to get the perfect damage increase. I saw damage inflicted and go happy. It's a low stamina damage soul trait. So that's super unfortunate, I will say. Unless they introduce characters in the future that start at low stamina as a build is never going to be meta. Because for those that don't know, the reason why low stamina is bad to a certain extent is because you have to waste time at the start of the quest taking damage, forcing yourself to get low, and that just adds unnecessary time, especially when you can start at full stamina and start doing damage right away. So I guess that is Christmas 2019 characters resurrected. SOI FON, good soul trait, the best of the bunch, obviously. Nanao got an interesting resurrection with the movement speed increase. I prefer that than any other skill she could have gotten. As a soul trait, I like it. It's a niche soul trait, but I could definitely see myself potentially using it sometime in the future because I know I have used other links like that. And then for Nelliel, while I do like that we're potentially finally getting more recharge and low stamina damage soul traits, because keep in mind, the option was never there. Like if I wanted to do a low stamina damage build, there's almost no links besides Koga that I could use. So it's nice to have that extra option. But again, I would have just preferred full stamina, strong attack damage, or more damage at full stamina. It's sad to see 14% recharge soul traits not get the perfect treatment, and yeah, I'm a bit gutted with Nelliel, I'll be honest. But in the comments below, let me know what you like to think about these characters' resurrections. I'm curious to know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.